Yummy fish waiting to be in the cooking pot. But before you take out your fishing gear, please read the signboard first. No wonder there are so many happy fish swimming around. This river is the upper reaches of Sungai Sarawak Kanan. And next to it is Pangkalan Tebang Bazaar. Pangkalan Tebang is about 50 kilometers from Kuching. Despite its slow pace of life, this little settlement has an interesting past. Back in the 19th century, it was an important stopover for travellers from Dutch Kalimantan to Sarawak. This was especially so for the Chinese miners in Kalimantan. The Chinese had settled in Kalimantan since the 18th century, and they were involved mainly in mining. The coming of the Dutch disrupted their activities, and as a result, many of them crossed over to Sarawak. They crossed to Sarawak through Gombang and then to Pangkalan Tebang. From here they sailed downstream to Bau and the surrounding areas. Initially when they came over, they settled in Pangkalan Tebang for a few years mining for gold. Eventually they moved downstream to Bau and the surrounding area. The leader of the Chinese uprising in 1857, Liu Shanpan, was one of them who passed through this route. According to oral history, during the uprising, a large group of people passed through the area.
Yang saya tahulah, Datuk kami orang cerita dulu, orang tua cerita juga, dia tidak dapat hitung manusia tu. Tapi yang kami dengar, dia tahu itu laluan orang kadang-kadang orang buat pakai batang pokok kan, pakai takutnya tu kaki terpijak tanah kan, dia buat pakai batang kelapa. Dia ada yang mengatakan itu batang kelapa yang keras macam tu boleh lebur, boleh hancur kena ada orang tu. Jadi kita dapat bayangkan berapa ramai ada orang tu.
Other than that, Pangkalan Tebang also had a trying time during the Indonesian confrontation and communist insurgency due to its close proximity to the border. According to the former Ketua Kaum, Pangkalan Tebang was started by two brothers, Hiu Pian Tek and Hiu Kan Choi. Back in the 19th century, in troubled times, the two brothers took refuge in the village of Gombang, where two sisters, Redup and Suboy, protected them from their enemies. After that, the two brothers married the two sisters. They later moved to Pangkalan Tebang to work on the land there, and today their descendants has reached the 6th generation.
Saya kawin dengan dia punya cicit deh dah. Generasi ke berapa? Saya coba hitung. Hiu Peng Tet lahirkan saya punya moyang. Lepas tu moyang, akhir saya punya bapak mertua. 4 generasi lah. Saya punya bini adalah generasi keempat. Isteri half Cina. Mak dia Bidayuh juga.
Tahu cakap Hakka kah ataupun semua Bidayuh saja?
Saya bini memang Hakka, pandai cakap Hakka. Bidayuh juga. Anak saya semua cakap hakal lah. Saya seorang tak pandai cakap.
The name Pangkalan Tebang came about due to its role as a trading post.
Pangkalan ni, kalau dalam bahasa Melayu, bikaran. Bikaran cepat. Bikaran ni maksudnya di sumber kita ambil air lah, air. Tebang ni toban. Toban tu maksudnya membawa. Toban tu maksudnya orang Melayu, orang Cina naik ke sini kan, dia berdagang. Dia gunakan perahu naik untuk bawa barang dari bandar sana lah, macam yang paling penting masa itulah garam, apa-apalah bekalan dapur macam tu. Dia dilahirkan dari ayat dua perkataan ni lah, bikaran dan toban.
Do take note that there are several versions regarding the origin of the name of this bazaar. As in other bazaars in Sarawak, a Chinese temple is a very important feature of the Chinese settlement. And like many others, it was built overlooking the river. The temple originally started with this structure, which eventually expanded until what can be seen today. A vibrant bazaar in the old days, today the bazaar is a pale shadow of its past. The old shop houses are no longer operating, while a new sundry shop is now operating about 20 meters behind the old shops. Presently, Pangkalan Tebang has a population of about 400 people. The majority of the population are Bidayus and Chinese. A lot of intermarriages are found here, and the relationship between the ethnic groups is exemplary. A very interesting example of this relationship can be found in the Bazaar's Chinese Temple Committee, where many of them are of Bidayu descent.
Macam ini, kami tubuh satu EJK. EJK ni badan yang sudah didaftar dengan ROS ni. Jadi syaratnya waktu itu, siapa yang mau jadi ahli seumur hidup boleh berdaftar. Jadi saya di antara seorang lah jadi ahli seumur hidup sini. So kami rasa ini agama ni tidak jadi timbul masalah, walaupun kami Kristian. Tetapi kami menyokong juga aktiviti macam equal sini lah. Saya rasa tidak jadi masalah lah. Sebab bukan kita mau, maksudnya bukan kita mengatai benda tu, kalau kita mau. Karena tadi kalau macam ada perayaan, kami yang jadi ahli biasa ni, kami membantu dari segi penyediaan makanan, macam tempat orang buat itu, tempat keramaian tu kita dirikan pondok tu, semua kita gotong royong sana macam tu. Tetapi yang bab-bab ritual
dia orang lah
buat.
River transportation was the reason why this bazaar was founded and boomed, and also the reason for its decline.
So sungai ini digunakan sebagai pengangkutan.
Yes.
Sampai tahun berapa baru dia berhenti?
Sampai tahun 1989, around tu lah.
Oh, masih ada masa tu.
90, ya.
So lepas tu jalan dah berturap lah.
Belum berturap lagi. Masih masa tu berbatu sampai ke Pedaun sini, kampung Pedaun bawah sini.
So perahu berhenti berkhidmat bila jalan dah ada lah kan?
Yes.
Kita dapat masuk.
Sebab saya masih kecil dulu, saya ada ikut siapa punya bapak bah.
So perahu ni sampai ke Krokong sajalah.
Sampai Krokong saja.
Oh, okay.
Sebab jalan raya yang berturap dulu sampai Krokong saja.
The boats were used to transport goods only to Krokong and vice versa, while the villagers would walk overland to Kampung Pedaun and Krokong. When roads were linked to the bazaar, the significance of the shops lost their important function and finally closed down for good about 10 years ago. So how old are these shop houses? A notice of auction for the land for these shop houses dated 1963 can be found in the Sarawak Gazette. But the history of the settlement is much older than that. The bazaar may no longer play their important role of yesteryears, but plans are in store for development in the future, especially in tourism. The visionary former and present ketua kaum have laid out plans for the future.
Impian saya mau diri satu tubuh peringatan untuk bina. Sebab saya kewujudan kampung ni berasal dari itu.
Ya.
Tapi saya mau ambil dia punya replika macam dia punya bapak punya gambar. Dia punya yang 5 orang tu lah. Waktu saya jadi ketua kampung, saya sudah mohon satu untuk tempat ini di-upgrade. Malah saya sudah, ini tidak boleh diubah suai sebab saya sayangkan ini. Ini struktur orang buat sekitar tahun 50-an ni.
One of the tourism product offered here.
So far kami orang baru start ini tahun juga. Boleh lah tiap minggu ada. Tomorrow ada juga foreigner datang sini.
Foreigner?
Another potential tourist attraction here is an old mercury mine about 30 minutes hike from here. It was opened during the Japanese occupation and until today there are still a lot of relics left behind.
Kita dapat nampak itu macam tempat penyimpanan dia, stol penyimpanan dia, ada punya bekas-bekas rumah tu, tapi tidak pastilah sama ada itu tempat untuk apa kan dulu lah. Tapi dia masih ada, masih wujud.
I hope to follow the villagers to recce the place one day.